I'm going to be super sniffly today because it is officially fall in the PNW. What does that mean? That means that the state that I've chosen to live in is also the state that I'm probably the most allergic to. So, you know, fun times. Today, it's a special day where we're going to talk about the second most popular cryptid in the world. Well, that depends on like what side of the country you're on. That country being the United States of America. So if you're on my side of the country, the most popular cryptid is going to be Bigfoot. If you're on the East Coast, the most popular cryptid is going to be Mothman, and then in the middle you've got Chupa. So yeah, today we're doing Mothman. I have 4 sketches that I've completely forgotten which one I was going to do. I think it was that one. So let's get started. I know like with my other ones, I did some stuff like where I talked about like the history of that and whatnot, but everyone and their dog has done Mothman stuff, and I feel like if you're watching this video, you already know everything about Mothman. So what's the point in me going over that again, you know? So I'm just gonna pretend I know how anatomy works. That's definitely not how anatomy works. I'm also, like, not only allergies are making me sniffly, but I just finished watching Jamie Costa's test footage of the Robin biopic. I don't know if it's an actual thing, because it's honestly the first I'm hearing of this, but Jamie Costa is a freaking genius. His impressions are so spot on. I honestly was so disappointed that he wasn't chosen for the Solo movie, because his Harrison Ford is just fantastic. Belly button. Some of you are probably wondering, why are we getting a front shot of Mothman and not his bodacious bubble butt like they have in the statue in West Virginia? And the answer for that is because I couldn't figure out a pose that worked as well, showing off his bubble butt the way that, and his wings. Like, I wanted them both to be in there, but the way the wings are and the way the orientation of the frame that he's going to be in is just... How did I do this? Okay, I see what I did. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. That's what I did. I'm going with a more Tom Selleck vibe with this. You know, that picture of Tom Selleck where he's lying naked on a rug. Tone those muscles out a little bit. Jamie Costa's gonna make me cry. Which, you know, I don't forgive people for that. Which is why I didn't watch Tom Hanks do that thing. Oh, he's done so many things. What did he do? And also, what's his face? Ewan McGregor. I didn't watch the Winnie the Pooh thing. Oh, Tom Hanks did Mr. Rogers, and it's like I don't know if I could ever watch that, because I'm fairly certain that I would start crying immediately. Like it just starts up, and suddenly I'm crying, and I'm okay with not doing that. The belly button should be down here. I will give him some tonemanship. Toneman? That's definitely not a word. Let's hide the belly button in a 6-pack. Move this leg forward just a bit. I'm not caring about anatomy right now. So what are some movies you watched? Some biopics recently that made you cry? I will say that I'm fairly certain that anything with Robin Williams is going to make me cry. So the day Robin Williams died, I actually watched Hook and Jumanji, and Jumanji didn't make me cry, but oh, I was sobbing during Hook. Like, I really was. And normally I don't do that. If I learn about a celebrity's death that I really admire, I don't watch their stuff like immediately afterward, because it's like I'm just not ready to say goodbye kind of thing. But it was so different with Robin Williams that it was like, it genuinely felt like I lost a parent. And I know, like, a lot of people would probably say that, and there's equal amount of people who are saying, like, well, you never met him, and it's like, that's not the point. It's just like, he's one of the few celebrities whose careers I actively cared to keep up with. And it's like, I've seen most, if not all, of his movies. I think there's one movie of his I haven't seen yet, and it was one where he worked at a photo booth, and I never got the chance to actually watch that, even though I like checked it out from the library. I just didn't have time, and I had never even heard of that movie. It was very much so like the day the music stopped, or the day the music didn't play. I don't remember how the lyrics of American Pie go. Oh, I'm all sorts of sniffly today. I hate being sniffly. Sniffly means allergies, and I make the noise with my nose. Oh, let's flatten out your head. I'm not sure I like giving you a round head. I really like the idea of giving you antenna ears. Like that really skinny, fuzzy antenna ears. So there we have it. There's your Mothman. So thank you for joining me. And this is a really short video, so I apologize, but you know, I'm just kidding. We are gonna finish this, I promise. You know what this face reminds me of? The Question from DC Comics. Like the male Question before Renee Montoya took over. I think the original guy got cancer or something like that. But that was also during a time when they were taking a lot of male characters and replacing them with female characters, which I don't mind that. Like, I feel like that can be done really well if also done for the right reasons. But these absolutely were not done for the right reasons. They were done because DC wanted to reach a demographic that was being alienated in the comic book industry, and is still being alienated in the comic book industry. And that demographic is women and young girls and pretty much anybody who is not a cis white man. And I'm probably just like got a whole bunch of dislikes for that, but guess what? I don't care. I worked in the comic book industry for 6 years, and you want to know what I learned? I am not their demographic. Their demographic is cis white males, mostly old ones. I'm sorry, cis white heterosexual males. That is the demographic for comics. And there are a lot of people who are trying to change that and are trying to make the comic book industry so much more inclusive. And those people are actively like heroes. Like, they really, really are. And because what they have to deal with is they have to deal with so much abuse, both verbally, physical threats, death threats, all because they're trying to change the way people perceive the comic book industry. And there are so many people who are actively against changing the comic book industry for various reasons. One of which is because then the people who are actively against changing it feel like they have to read stuff that's not catered specifically to them, which never made sense in my brain. Still does not make sense. And yeah, I don't know why people are so vehemently against change. And just like letting the world grow in a completely new way. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I was never like that, because I guarantee you, I hated texting people when it first started. And a lot of me hating texting people is because of T9, because T9 was just like, I don't know whoever had to deal with T9. Oh man. T9 has to be a new level of hell. Oh, you know what? We'll go full Tom Selleck here and pretend that he's on a bear rug. Here's me forgetting how anatomy works. What is new today? Not the anatomy. And then we'll pretend that there's like a fireplace, maybe? One thing that I've noticed about my art is that sometimes I draw tangents. And a tangent is when two lines converge at the same point. At least in terms of art. In terms of like rants and stuff, a tangent is just a rant. A long-winded rant that has no bearing on anything. And I won't draw on the fire yet. I think I'll just leave that so I can color it in and it looks more cohesive. Trying very hard not to erase my border lines because I need those for stuff. What is that stuff I need? I need those to tell me where to stop coloring. I'm already forgetting what lines are lines. So the Mothman statue in West Virginia, I think it's Point Pleasant. In Point Pleasant, West Virginia, is metallic. So we're going to start with C2, which is my lightest gray. And all of the like art and stuff just has Mothman as like a black silhouette. And that's what we're gonna build up to that, because I don't want to lose my details. So we are going to be taking inspiration from the metal statue in Point Pleasant. And for those of you who have not seen the Mothman statue in Point Pleasant, do yourself a favor and look it up. Specifically look up Mothman butt statue. Mothman butt statue. You will not be disappointed. Or you will be disappointed that such a thing exists. Listen, I don't know what to tell you about people, but someone decided that the Mothman needed to have a badunkadunk. So, you know, you do you, sculptor. Because everything needs a badonkadonk. It's gonna go so much faster if I do this. So I wrote a short story called Lantern Walkers, which is available on my Gumroad, and I will link that down below. And the story is about a young girl named Galena who lives in this village, and this village has 3 rules. Never stay out after dark. Never open the door no matter who's on the other side. And never let them hear you speak. And yeah, it's a horror story. Oh, hi dog. I didn't realize you were down there. And in the story, the girl's mother is a midwife. And the problem with being a midwife is that you can't really control when babies are born. Oh, that is so dark. Is that really my next? No, it's not. My next lightest is in 3. Yeah, you can't really control when babies are born. So, her mother is one of the few people who are allowed out of past curfew, basically. Galena is her mother's apprentice. So she's finally at that age where she has to go with her mom on these night birthing, whatever they're called, and chaos ensues. So she gets a first-hand look as to why you shouldn't go out at night. Maybe these are more blendable than I thought they were, because this seems to be blending really well. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna be building up the darkness here and this a little bit. But if you're interested in that story or something like that, I have a link down below. I only have it as $5 right now, and it's probably not gonna change. It's probably gonna be $5 for however long. The money goes towards me getting myself a car, so, or a vehicle of some kind that allows me to get around town and do some stuff, you know, like get out of the house and go on adventures. Like I could go to Yachats and just not be in this place where I am right now, which isn't a bad place. It's just, it's very, very small. I didn't want to add too much facial detail, because, you know, Mothman doesn't have a face, really. What are you doing? Just getting into all sorts of stuff today, Rizzy. Forgot to leave highlights. Oops. How would you like to come across this in a dark alley? So the trick to blending, as I've discovered today, is don't use the blending marker, because that doesn't work. But use the 2 markers that you want to actually blend with. That actually looks so much better than all the other blend. Like, you can see all the shell shading I did on the other ones. I've done 7 of these, and I'm just now learning how to use the blending. Oops. Oh, these markers smell so freaking bad today. Which is amazing, because I don't really have a sense of smell right now. Not to say that I don't have COVID or anything. It's just when my allergies act up, I lose my sense of smell. And today, of all days, would be a great day to not have a sense of smell, because these markers are so smelly. I wonder if this technique works with other alcohol markers, like with Sharpies and stuff. I should really try that out. That would be really cool to find out. Let's do a little definition. Just a little bit of definition on this leg. Really should have left some space for a highlight, but guess what? Lighting doesn't matter. I really need this one and not the highlight color. We'll figure it out as we go along, and that's the end of this song. Oh yeah, that is so much better. That's so nice. That is some expert shading right there. How did these get so out of order? There you are. We got a little bit of the glow from the fire. He looks like a superhero. He really does. He looks like, you know how like a lot of superheroes have like the painted on look for their costumes? It absolutely looks like one of those. God, now I want to redo these. I feel so bad that my shading was so bad. Like I've never been good at shell shading. And now I figured it out. I figured out the trick and I hate it. 7 in, and yeah, I really should have ended this video earlier. Does he look metallic though? I don't know if he looks. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so mad. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. Like, the whole thing about using new things, trying out new techniques and whatever, you really have to push yourself to really break out of your comfort zone. And my comfort zone is actually not it with markers, at least it's with flat shading. Like I'd rather do just flat colors with no shading when it comes to markers, because I never thought I could get this type of shading here with markers, and so I never tried. And today, for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try, and because I did, I'm so mad at myself. But it's okay. I won't stay mad at myself forever, because from now on, we'll have like an indicator of growth. We can see the earlier pictures and see that they are like their shading's not as great, and then we see Mothman and we're just like, ooh, what happened here? And that is our growth, and it's great. We have an indicator of growth. And I honestly really like seeing stuff like that, especially in my own art, where it's like you can see the exact moment when your art starts to change. That's a really cool effect. Because it also goes to show you, it's like, hey, you are capable of getting better. When you thought your skills, especially like for me, I always feel like my coloring is never gonna get any better, because I feel like I'm really good at coloring, especially with like colored pencils, and I feel like that's never gonna get better. Like I'm never going to go beyond what I've done so far, and because of that, it's like, well, I'm not going to try anything different. I'm not going to do anything new. I'm just going to stay where I am, because that's where I'm comfortable. And once you break out of that cycle, then you start to realize there's always room for improvement. Like you can always get better. Right, Rizzy? You can always learn, because life is about learning. You shouldn't allow yourself to get into this idea that you will never get better, and that you've reached your peak or your pinnacle, and that you should just stay there because you're comfortable. And it's like, like, yeah, I found my style, but I can always make it better, or I could always change my style. And like people think like, oh, I can never change my style or anything like that. That's not true, because the more you practice, or the more you forcibly change things the way that you draw, that the better your art will become. See, I was going to make him darker, but I really like the shading that I did, and I really don't want to make it any darker. Oh, that's not working. I hate using these big ones for like detailed work, but when the bitty nibs just aren't working for you. Here's another thing I never do. I never do the, like if something's translucent, I tend to steer away from that and like not show how it's translucent, because it's like I never figured out how to do that. But look at me. I'm doing the thing, guys. I am working myself out of my comfort zone, and it's great. Though technically, like, the light isn't, technicalities. One thing I will say about getting out of my comfort zone is that I am not talking as much because I'm trying to concentrate on, I need the detail nib. The bullet nib, as they say in the industry. Nice little rug, little fur rug. Also never really good at fire, but guess what? Don't care. We're gonna pretend that's a fire. And we're gonna take our lightest orange, which is this YR4 pumpkin. And just do, nope. Just do just a teensy little bit of orange toward the base of the fire. Just realized I kind of screwed myself over, but guess what? I don't care, because we're gonna do it anyway, and then some. So one thing that I've learned with coloring and how I can always make things better for me is by utilizing what is known as mixed media, which I'm already like a fan of mixed media. It's like you will be amazed. Like if you're one of those people who just uses one art supply at a time, that's fine. You know, that's your thing. Go for it. It works for you. But for me, in recent years, I've come to find that I'm very partial to a lot of different art supplies. Like right now, I'm using a Posca marker, and it's just a white Posca marker to kind of make certain details really pop. Like I really want to show that the fire is glowing. It also makes the fire look a little more realistic when you have light coming off of it and affecting the area around it. I guess I can use this black now to kind of do the background, because that's not really the important part now, is it? And it will definitely make the lighter colors pop for sure. This is the part where you would use your chisel nib and not your bullet nib, like I'm doing. So, you know, do as I say, not as I do. And we'll figure out what to do with the bricks in a minute. So the chisel nib, or the bullet nib's great for these teeny tiny little, oops, I kind of over exaggerated that muscle. Well, oh well. It's great for little details, not so great for filling in. But it's okay if you want to fill in with the bullet nib. Just keep in mind that some bullet nibs wear down very, very easily. So the more you use it, the more it's going to be useless to you. Look at that pop. Ugh. It's fantastic. Now we got to figure out what to do with the rest of it. Oh, bricks. What should we do for the bricks? I think a good IR9 cocoa color. Oh yeah, that looks good. I should have left a little bit of room for highlights. That's okay. You know what? These are blendable. I take everything back that I said. They're not blendable, they're lying. No, they are very blendable. I just needed to figure out how to blend them. So, you know, disregard everything I've said in previous things. I was a liar and a scoundrel, and I was trying to defame cheap markers. But you know what? These cheap markers are really coming through for me today. And it's just a matter of learning how to use them. Alright, now for the coup de grace, we are going to take our lightest red, which is the YR7. Do not fall over, I swear to God. What did I just say? How long has that been on there? Okay. Why is the YR7? Okay, so this is terracotta. I'm gonna wait for that to dry quick. Just take this yellow. I like it. I'm gonna fix this just a bit because I don't. Yeah. He doesn't need to be that broad-chested, but you know. Alright, now. I screwed myself over again, didn't I? The problem I'm having right now is if I put my signature in this area, it's gonna get covered up by the border. But anywhere else is just gonna look weird, so fine. You know what? He's gonna have a tattoo. There. Right on his shoulder. Oh, well, that was a journey, wasn't it? Like, we learned some stuff today. It was great. I feel like I have to fix this now. Oh, what color did I use? Fine, we're gonna do this. So, as I've discovered, so blending, if you blend way too much, you actually you blend out the original color, which isn't bad, especially if you want to lighten up certain places. Like here. Oh, that looks so much better. Alright, cool. We learned stuff today. Yay! It was fun. This one I can't really fix, though, because the freckles will get blended out, and I don't want that. And this one's alright. I'm just not happy with the background, but meh. Glad we learned some stuff today. I hope you guys learned stuff too. Alright, I will see y'all later. Bye!